Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you how the files were set up and also how the automation works. Okay, so as we can see, we have three folders. We have the admin, the prospect list, and the response tracker. All right, under prospect list, basically this will be the destination folder of all the newly generated prospect list file. And same thing with response tracker, any response trackers that will be created through the automation will be saved into this folder. Okay, now let's go into the admin folder. So right here we have the template. All right, so let's go and open those templates first for the prospect list and the response tracker. And also we have here the interested or nurtures tracker form or tracker file. Okay, now if we go into the prospect list right here, so I just made some polishing with the formatting, okay, to make it look better. And also I added additional columns, which I think would be necessary for us to make the automation or for us to lessen the admin task. Okay, so I added here the response date, response info, like rep, then the client type, campaign, and we have here two columns for the which are checkboxes, which will help us identify which records needs to be transferred into the response tracker or into the interested or nurture file. So later on, I'm going to show you that. And then right here in the response tracker, so basically we have this or this campaign stats tab. Then in the all contacted prospects, so basically we're transferring the records from column A to AE from the prospect list tab into our all contacted prospects tab in the response tracker. Okay, and then these tabs are already formulated so that it picks up all the corresponding records based on the type of responses. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the um, admin reference link and let's go ahead and try to create new files for a new client. All right, so we have this admin reference link tab where we are saving all the details of the newly created files and also like details of the clients and also, yeah, details of the client. All right, and so if we go right here, you'll see here create files. Okay, we have two options. We have new client and existing client. So if we go and click on new client, there'll be a pop-up window right here. Before that, let me just go back, by the way, into the prospect list tab. So under settings, by the way, I have this. Any column that are highlighted in red will be taken care of by the automation, so you don't have to worry about those. Um, or anything that the header, any column that has a red header, please, as much as possible, do not change that or do not change anything in that column. Let's say right here the prospect responses, because the script or the automation is dependent, okay, to the data that we have in those columns. All right. But again, right here in the settings tab of the prospect list tab, this columns right here, we are using this in the drop down selection that we have in the prospect list tab. So right here, we have the prospect responses, we have the rep name. So if you'd like to add more, let's say I like here to add Mary. So automatically that drop down will be updated. Okay. Then we have the industry, which I got from our sample data sets. So if you think there are more or if you need to add more selection right here, you just have to add that below and automatically our drop down in the prospect list tab will be updated. And location to make sure that the location that we're putting in is correct. So I also added this locations right here. And if we go into our prospect list tab again, and right here we have those locations where you could select from. Okay, and you can change those based on your preferences. Okay, so if there are countries which you think are not, which you think should not be here, or you don't use them at all, then you can remove those. Okay. So let me go back into creating new file for a new client. So right here, we have here client name, okay, So earlier I already created some files or sample files, all right? And you don't have to worry about creating duplicate files because I added validation. It won't allow you if you'll be creating same files for the same client, okay? So let's say earlier I created here client A, right? If I try to create another file for the same client, then there will be an error message right here which says, there you go, client already exists. And same thing with the campaign. Okay, if you already have an existing campaign for a specific client and you tried creating another prospect leads for the same campaign for the same client, then the system wouldn't allow you. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to add another client right here. Let's say client C. Okay, product type. There you go. So I got this client type, by the way, from our sample data set as well. So if you think there are more, then you can just add that right here in our client type selection template, and that will automatically appear in that drop down selection right here. Okay. All right. Then campaign name, let's say campaign one. Okay. So before I submit this, let's go into the interested nurture tracker. So right here, same thing. We have those settings. Okay. We have those drop down selections in the template right here. All right, so that we could minimize the manual data entry or lessen the manual data entry. Okay, so as we can see, we only have tabs right here, which is client A, client B, then test client, which I created earlier. So if I go back into the admin reference and submit this client C, then the script should now create, okay, a new prospect list for this client and campaign, okay, and a new response tracker for this client, which I'm going to show you later once it's done. So there you go. As we can see, it automatically populates this row. Okay, we have the file name, the link to the response tracker, and we generated ID, of course, as a unique identifier of that client, which might be also useful in the future, especially when it comes to the reporting. So right here, yeah, it created as well. Okay, another data for the campaign. Okay, which is the prospect list file. Okay, so if we go into our interested nurture tracker, there you go. As we can see, that client C has been created, right? And if we go back into our prospect list, we should have that client C here now. There you go. And if we go into our response tracker tab, then that client C is now available right there as well. So if in case you'd like to create another um, prospect leads, okay, for a different campaign of the same client, then under create files, you can just click on existing client. And then right here, it will show you all the clients available. Okay, so we created client C. So let me go and get that and create campaign number 2. So once I submit that, then it should create another prospect list, okay, for that client and with that campaign. So there you go. We have that right here. And if we go back into our prospect list, we should have that client C right here and campaign to prospect list tab. Okay. So once we open that, there you go. Basically, by default, okay, what would have the naming convention would be the client name, okay, and then the campaign name, and then prospect list, all right, for the prospect list tracker. And for the response tracker, it would be client name and then response tracker. There you go. So client seek response tracker. Okay. So if you'd like to add a record now, okay, so instead of you putting in the details in each cell, scrolling all the way to the left, right, going down, then you can just simply click on add record view form. Okay, if it's your first time to run the script, you'll get this a prompt Okay, you just have to click on continue and then allow that and allow it. And let's go ahead and just open it again, add record. Then we already got this prompt or window. Okay, so you just have to enter the details. Um, in this window, okay, I only added those fields which I think is necessary in the phase one when filling out this prospect list tab. But if in case there will be some fields which we need to add here or we need to remove, just yeah, please let me know. Okay. So yeah, you can just enter the details right here, and then you can just click on submit, and automatically the details will be populated right here. So let's say I'll just go ahead and enter test website. So right now, okay, I don't have any additional data validation. So let's say if you only entered test website, that should still push through. Okay, let me know if you think we need to add validation wherein the first name should be not blank, last name should not be blank, email address not be blank, and so on. All right, but if I go ahead and add that record and click on submit, then that record is added now right here. Okay, and if we scroll all the way to the right, automatically these were populated. And also it populates a record ID, which is again unique to this record, which will be useful, okay, for us to identify if that record already exists in the response record or interested or nurture file when we transfer them, okay, or yeah, when we select that and again transfer them or copy the data into those files. Okay, I already created earlier a test file that has already data, which is this test client. So let's just open that and also open the response tracker. Oops, now that one. We go and click on test client. So in this test clients, we already have this dashboard. Okay. And we have all contacted prospects. Again, we're just copying the records, okay, from our prospect list tab into this tab. Okay, and then this tab right here, the interested, nurture, pass on, not interested. These are all formulated so that it filters or it picks up all the records that has this specific uh, prospect response. Okay, so later on I'm going to show you that as well. So let's go ahead first, go right here in the test client. So as we can see, we have those color coding. Those are conditional formatting that we added in the prospect list tab. um, yeah. So right here, response date. Okay, this response date will automatically be populated to today's date. Okay, if you change this prospect response to interested, nurture, pass on, or not interested. Okay, let me just scroll down a bit to the right. There you go. Okay, so if I click this to contacted, okay, or select change this to contacted, then automatically this transfer to response tracker will be checked. Okay. Or if I change this to, let's say, interested, automatically that row will turn to green. And as we can see, this response date was populated automatically to today's date. Then these columns were automatically populated as well with a check. Okay. Though this was populated automatically by the automation, you can still manually change this. Okay, there you go. All right. But again, if you change it to, let's say, not interested, there you go. It changes to the corresponding color. All right. So now, if I'd like to transfer these details, okay, so as we can see, we have those data that has been checked right here, or records that were checked, which could be transferred to response tracker. If I'd like to transfer those, I just need to click on copy record and then select response tracker. Then automatically all this record should be transferred into the all contacted prospects tab. So let's go ahead and click on copy and response tracker. There you go. And automatically this were in check, it means that the operation has been successful. So if we go back into our test client, as we can see, we already have those records right here. Okay. Now, if in case accidentally you selected the wrong prospect response, you can update that anyway. And let's say this record right here, which is the first or the second record, okay, it's supposed to be nurture. Then you can just simply again click on copy response tracker. It won't duplicate the record in the response record, but rather update, okay, the record into that field. So if we go right here, which is the second, that should be, there you go. That has been updated to nurture. Okay. So yeah, if in case you need to update anything in the response tracker, you can just update those, and you can just simply check that checkbox right here, and then again copy a record response tracker so that that data of that specific record will be updated in our response tracker. Okay. Now same thing with the transfer to interested and nurture. So if we go into our interested nurture client right here, client C or test client, we don't have anything yet. So if I go and again go back into that um, test client, there you go, and copy record to interested or nurture, there's 4 records should be transferred into our interested nurture file. There you go, that has been cleared, and you got this alert right here. So there you go. We already have this details into our test client. All right, so automatically it populates this data. Okay. I'm just not sure about the market if it's the same as the prospect location or the headquarters or company location. If it's yes, let me know so that I could update this, because right now we didn't have anything here. It doesn't populate any data in the market tab. I'm not sure if there's something manual that you have to enter or what. Okay, so again, we have those, and yeah, basically you can start now filling out this info right here. Okay, but before I go into this interested nurture tracker, let's go back into our campaign response tracker of the test client. So as we can see, we already have these details right here, right? So if you go into each tab, so you'll see those records, which are here, interested. Here you have nurture, have those pass on, then not interested. All right, and if we go into our campaign stats, then automatically that has been updated. So we have a total of 8 prospect contacted, right? There you go, count of 8. And we have 6 responses, yeah. So we have 6 prospect who responded right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, we got those 6, and responded versus contacted percentage is 75%, right? Now if we would like to create a chart for that client, okay, all we just have to do is click on create chart. All right, run. Again, just have to allow the script, advance, go and allow, and again create chart and run. Then you can just select the campaign. Okay, right now we only have one campaign that is available, which is cloud. So let me go ahead and submit that. Then automatically that should create, okay, a dashboard right here. There you go. If in case you have more, let's say just for the purpose of this video, I'll just go ahead and copy this. Um, all right, and then let's say we have Google, paste it over here. All right, and if we go back right here and click on create chart, run, that Google campaign should be available. There you go. And if I click on Google and click on submit, then that will create There you go. Dashboard for that campaign. All right, as we can see, we have that campaign name at the top. All right, now let's go back into the interest nurture. Additional automation that I added right here. So as we can see, again, we have those drop downs, okay, which we are picking up from our settings. So again, you can change this based on your preferences or based on the selections that should be available. All right, so if we go back right here in the test client, right? So if we change, by the way, I added here first follow up, second, third, and fourth, because based on the video that you shared with me, there might be numbers of follow up that needs to be sent. Okay, so we have here, if you fill this out, let's say 14th, okay, automatically these columns will be populated, okay, which is 4 business days, okay. So 4 business days from the 14th, 4 business days from the 20th, and so on. All right, but still, you can manually change this. All right, if it's needed. All right, there you go. And yeah, and if right here I added conditional formatting as well. So let's say clients is open to meeting and meeting book, then that should turn green. But if it's no, or if it's canceled, then that should turn red. Or if client is not open to meeting, again, that should also turn to red. All right. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions or feedback. All right. Thanks. Bye.